going on from tasks, we're going to talk about time. Time has a lot of, I guess, opportunity for people that have emotional eating issues to surface, because you can be short of time, long on time. But the time things that I want to talk about are not time management, because that's more task management that we were talking about with meal planning, but how much time you take between your meals and how long it takes you to eat. So the rule of thumb that I like to use on meal planning, and this is something that hopefully you can utilize, is you want to eat about the first hour and a half after you get up and eat every 4 to 6 hours after that. You want to wait as much as you can, wait 4 hours so that your hormones have a chance to reset, and not go more than 6 hours, because then you're going to be at risk for overeating. There are some exceptions to that. If someone has hypoglycemia, or somebody is really, really athletic and is just burning through calories, they may need to eat more often. But in general, eating every 4 to 6 hours is going to help balance your nutrition. Now, if you're a grazer, where you're just eating a little bit here, a little bit there, and literally eating almost every hour, you don't really know if you're satisfied or not. And a lot of people that are grazers are like, well, I haven't eaten a meal, so I need to have my plate of protein and starch and veggies. And then you can end up eating too many calories because you've essentially already eaten plenty of calories as you're grazing, but you don't really realize that you're satisfied, and then you end up with this feeling of fullness. So it goes hand in hand with meal timing. Another rule that I have that has to do with how fast you're eating, it's very simple. You've probably heard it before. It's the 20-minute rule. It takes your stomach 20 minutes to tell your brain that you're full. And I know that if I'm really hungry, I can eat 2 helpings of food in 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I really feel quite miserable. And that's usually going to be because I either didn't eat enough for lunch or got stuck in traffic, and it's just gone too long between meals. But there are people that have fast eating as a habit, and it could be an emotional habit. I see it a lot with school teachers. They have, 17, 22 minutes to eat for lunch, so their habit is that they're really eating quickly. Or busy executives that are gulping down a fast meal in between their conference calls. So when you're a fast eater, you're not allowing your brain to know that you're actually full or satisfied. Now, in both of these examples of eating every 4 to 6 hours and grazing, and also talking about being a fast eater, I've talked about being full or satisfied. And if you're taking notes, this is a way to think about it, because what happens over time, which can be an effect of emotion eating, is you have a warped sense of what satisfied is. So on your paper, if you want to write it, you can write satisfied, and then an arrow, full, and then an arrow, and stuffed. So what happens for the grazers, they're kind of eating around this satisfied all the time. They're not really ever hungry because they're always feeding themselves. And then when they finally eat a meal, they're actually full, but they think that that's satisfied because they're always here, they're not ever hungry. Now, someone that's a fast eater and you're just eating very, very quickly, you're gonna pass satisfied, not even realize full is there, and you end up stuffed. And so your perception of what it feels like to be satisfied with a meal is actually that feeling of being full or overstuffed. So over time, when you're looking at how you're changing your meal timing, you want to look at how fast you're eating, how many hours are between your meals, and gradually change that mind-body perception of, okay, I'm actually not hungry anymore, I am satisfied, and you can then not get that second helping or order more food. And the last tip that I have in regards to time is a split-second tip, and it actually has to do with the whole full, satisfied stuff thing. And I use it personally a lot, and it really helps me make better choices. It's really easy. You don't have to journal. You don't have to do a whole lot of writing down of anything. It's using the hunger scale. On a scale of 1 to 5, how hungry am I? If you're a 1, you're not hungry. That means, that's pretty much how you feel like within a half hour, an hour after you've eaten. You're not hungry. If you're a 5, that's when you are starving, and the little note that I was reading looked really tasty. So we really shouldn't be eating on either end of that spectrum, because if you're standing in front of the refrigerator and you think to yourself, okay, on a scale of 1 to 5, how hungry am I? And actually, you don't that long. You can just think, what is my number? Oh, it's a 1. Well, what am I doing standing here in front of the refrigerator? By taking that split second to think one, you can then make the conscious choice to do something else, like close the door. And then go maybe call a friend, go for a walk, do something. You may think I'm a 1, but you know, maybe I'm just a little bit thirsty, because a lot of times being sub-level dehydrated manifests itself as feeling like you're hungry. So maybe you have some herbal tea, have some sparkling water with the lemon and lime, something that's a little bit special. But by having that thought, you've stopped yourself from just rummaging through the refrigerator, not even realizing that you have just eaten several more hundred calories. Now, if you are realizing that you actually are eating on a 1 a lot, there probably is some type of emotional eating, and you might feel like you're at the point of no return. So that's where you want to have low calorie choices available. Carrots, celery sticks, cucumbers, even a cup of almond milk that's unsweetened is only 40 calories. So as you're learning to not eat on the 1, you can still have something that's helping you break that habit.